So therapeutic communication process. The principal communication include the verbal and non-verbal expression. Successful communications include appropriateness, efficiency, flexibilities, and feedback. Anxiety in the nurse or client impeded communication. The communication must be the goal directed within a professional framework. So this, you see the flowchart. The sender send a message to receiver, and receiver have to receive the information and then go for the action we call response. So if I send a message to you and it does not print in your brain, or you did not catch me, how you convey or how you go for the action, right? So therapeutic communication is very important when we deal with patient, particularly mental health issues. So next here, operational definition of communication. They said we have to have the stimulus, means need for information, comfort, and advice. Sender means ability to relate to other. It is important to think about the culture, environmental factor, gender, knowledge, mood or attitude, past experience, personal agenda, personal bias, personal relationship, and value system. The therapeutic and non-therapeutic communication techniques also contain important information about the message, like it should be verbal or non-verbal. Non-verbal example, visual means your body language. The way I stand in front of my patient, the way I put my two hands, my body language also transfer the message. I'm happy or dishappy, or I want to give the service or not. Tactile means any kind of touch, hug, smell, body odor, or be silence. So you ask a question to your patient and you have to give them time to verbalize their feelings, and you have to be active listener. So be silent is an important part of therapeutic communication. Both verbal and non-verbal may contracted or may substantial. So also what next? The personal receiving the message. They said interpretations of message sent are influenced by same common factors that we discussed before. Ability to relate it, culture, environment, gender, knowledge, mood. So example, I talk the language you do not understand, or what are the language you talk I do not understand. So we need some interpreter. So during the interpreter, we also follow the same factors that we use to personal interaction with the others. So what next? Some formulations of feedback. Receiver agree with the message or disagree. Need some clarification. Is this what you mean? If you do not understand, you ask me. I will recap it. Also, provide the information, request for the information again. Give the feedback which take many forms, maybe verbal, non-verbal, both verbal and non-verbal, right? Here some example of therapeutic techniques. So clarifying and validation, right? So means when a patient look for understanding for something that is vague or very confused, particularly psychiatry patient. Example, I want to tell you, psychiatry patient, when you go to identify your patient and you ask them their name and there's something, because they do not have any real relationship with reality, mistrust, they have some kind of visual problem, auditory problem, so you can't trust them. So, right? So you have to reconfirm all of the information, right? So clarification means, example I want to give, do I understand you correctly when you say, right? As I told you before that, we have to broad opening remarks, means what would you like to talk about today? Or open-ended question we have to ask, like, tell me more about the voice you hear. Also sharing the observations, like, you seems a little sad to me today, so they can express why, right? So next, go encourage the formulation of a plan of care, focusing and refocusing, means if your patient do not understand, we have to re-educate them, right? So giving information and presenting reality, listening, we have to listen very carefully, and maintaining the natural responses, maintaining the silence, and providing acknowledgement and feedback, provide non-verbal and encouragement, reflecting. Reflecting means reflect the question back to the client or patient. Like patient said, do you think I should try that new medication? Your response, what are you thought about it? Means you reflect it. Now go restarting. Restarting means you repeat what the patient said to confirm the understanding. Example, restarting. Patient said, I am so I have so anxiety that I cannot get to sleep. You reply, your anxiety is keeping you up at the night, right? Let me recap it. If your patient said, I am so anxious, or I feel so anxiety that I cannot get to sleep, then as a nurse, you reply, your anxiety is keeping you up at night. It is actually meaning it's same. Then I said, always presenting reality, right? What does it mean about presenting reality? So correct patient misperception, because we are talking about the psychiatry. Like, I understand that you are hearing a voices, but I do not hear any voice, right? So you have to correct the patient misperception. Also, be silent, eye to eye contact or therapeutic touch is also appropriate communications. Sharing the perception or summarizing using broad opening or open-ended question that I explained before. Also, we offering the self mean making yourself available to the patient. So like example, I will keep you company while you eat breakfast, right? It is offering something to your patient. Now, let me talk about a little bit more non-therapeutic techniques. Very important for NCLEX board. Asking the client why. So it is not a therapeutic communication. So why question? Why are you so angry? It make you angry more. So ask a question by why it's not good. So being defensive or challenging the client, the psychiatric patient, they're very innocent. They do not have any relation with reality. As a healthcare provider, it is not good for us challenge the patient. So challenging the subject. So let's talk about something else. Oh, sorry, I'm saying challenging. Okay, not subject change. So and next, challenging the subject, changing the subject, right? So example, I said, let's talk about something else. So you change the subject when patient talk about, it is not a therapeutic communication. Giving advice or approval or disapproval. So it is also not a good go for judgment like this, approve or disapprove. Yes, you did the right things, or no, you did the wrong things. It is not a, it is non-therapeutic communication. So making the stereotype comments, or making the value of judgment, or placing the client feelings on hold, or providing a false reassurance, means everything will be fine. So you know your patient is going to die or some terminal illness, and you said, no, everything will be fine. It is a false reassurance. And also giving advice like you should do that, you should do this, do that, or you should not. It is a non-therapeutic communication. Also, closed-ended question like yes or no response. So, are you feeling sad? Are you feeling happy? But it is answer should be yes, no. So it is not a good way of communication. We call non-therapeutic. Also, some leading or bias question like you do not smoke, do you? So you see, so I said you have to avoid it. So leading or bias question, you do not uh, drink alcohol, do you? So it is a leading or bias question. So this is very basic information about the therapeutic and non-therapeutic communication.